Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Check. We've got A-Rod's late game ladies, Kevin Love's sleeping troubles, and the original 13 rules of basketball. See you in a little bit. Greetings and salutations! Ladies and gents, I'll not waste your time because right now it is of the utmost importance. As we speak, the New York Yankees are on the verge of collapse. Or they've already collapsed by the time you've seen this. The perks of hosting a weekly show. Up to the minute news meets borderline insignificance. And speaking of insignificance, what's more insignificant than a guy making $30 million a season sitting on the bench? A guy making $40 million a season sitting on the bench. Touché. Such is the life of one Alex Rodriguez, whose apparent value doesn't match his waning skills. A-Rod hasn't been the same perennial all-star for a few seasons now, but has become notorious for his postseason disappearing act. A-Rod! He was just here! But the man we once thought would be the home run king when he retired has hit rock bottom, and this postseason is no exception. Rodriguez enters Game 4 of the ALCS 0 for 18 against right-handed pitching, and a paltry 3 for 23 overall. 3 for every 10 million. What a deal! You won't find that at Walmart. The slump has forced Yankees manager Joe Girardi to not only replace him in the lineup late in games, but to bench him altogether. But A-Rod doesn't let that get him down. Heck no it doesn't. And why should it? He still gets paid. Therefore, the ladies still line up for Mr. May. And why should he let work stop him? Semantics. According to sources, once replaced in Game 1 of the ALCS, A-Rod began flirting with a couple of chicks sitting behind the dugout. The ladies in question were Australian bikini model Kina Treacy and her friend Katie Quinn. After exchanging pleasantries, Alex allegedly passed the two a baseball so he could get the digits. Smooth. I don't usually get fans' numbers, but when I do, I get them with a baseball. I'm not judging, Big A. Actually, I applaud the move. If the Yankees are going to give you a nice little vacation before they ship you off, by all means. Live it up. Rumor has it the Miami Marlins are actually interested in picking up the slumping Sluggers' supersized contract. But given their recent history as a franchise, is it really that surprising? From the luckiest man on earth to one of the least fortunate pros walking the planet, I'm speaking of course about Mr. Kevin Love. Ever since being drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in 2008, it's been a hard knock life for Kevin. Before last season, the team hadn't won more than 24 games since his arrival, twice going for the worst record in the Western Conference. But during every season, Kevin improved and finished in the top 2 in the league in rebounding the last 2 seasons. Then, last season, hope came in the form of Spanish rookie import Ricky Rubio, and the duo sparked their dismal franchise to a 500 record 38 games into the shortened season. Alas, tragedy struck again when Rubio then tore his ACL and ended his season. Love struggled with his own injuries and the team limped to a 7-21 record the rest of the way. After winning a gold medal this summer with Team USA, Love was back to work this fall, but then ran into a minor speed bump. Last Friday, Kevin slept awkwardly on his right arm while it was extended off the bed, and the next day he couldn't even lift a basketball.
Facepalm.
Now, while this is an extreme case, I know I've slept on my arm plenty of times before and been completely useless in the morning. Great. Great. Live! Come on, live! Forget this, I gotta pee. Yeah. So it's conceivable how Love could do that, but it wouldn't keep him out long. And the team has reasons to be happy about the upcoming season. Rubio is scheduled to return early on, and Love will be there waiting on him. Right? In a manner of speaking, Love will be there, but only after dealing with yet another injury. On Wednesday, Kevin broke his shooting hand and will be out at least 6 to 8 weeks to nurse it back to health. The hand connected to the arm he injured while sleeping.
Double facepalm.
Now Minnesota will have to fend for itself for at least the first month of the season without its 2 superstars. It's hard enough to make the playoffs in a crowded Western Conference. It's even harder when you give the other 14 teams a month's head start. Sticking with basketball for the last segment, the NBA starts in less than 2 weeks and college basketball 10 days after that. But how many of you could name the game's inventor? His name was Dr. James Naismith, and he brought the game of basketball to the States in 1891. He developed it and the rules at a YMCA in Springfield, Massachusetts, and later founded Kansas's men's basketball program. The University of Kansas and Naismith were a hot topic this week when ESPN premiered its 30 for 30 documentary, No Place Like Home, about the sale of basketball's original 13 rules penned by Naismith. The original document was eventually sold for $4.3 million. What? And to put this in perspective, Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation only sold for $3.3 million. America. To put it in further perspective, A-Rod had made the value of both documents before the summer even started. What? Anywho, original rules and laws are always fun to check out, and while Dr. James doesn't exactly prohibit sanctioned bear wrestling matches, there's still some good ones. Player cannot run with the ball. The player must throw it from the spot on which he catches it. Allowance to be made for a man who catches the ball when running at a good speed if he tries to stop. That's a good one. Pardon the random English accent. If either side makes 3 consecutive fouls, it shall count a goal for the opponents. Consecutive means without the opponents in the meantime making a foul. Thanks, Doc. A goal shall be made when the ball is thrown or batted from the grounds into the basket and stays there, providing those defending the goal do not touch or disturb the goal. If the ball rests on the edges and the opponent moves the basket, it shall count as a goal. This is great. Here's a good one. No shouldering, holding, pushing, tripping, or striking the person of an opponent shall be allowed. The first infringement of this rule by any player shall count as a foul. The second shall disqualify him until the next goal is made, or if there was evident intent to injure the person for the whole game, no substitute allowed. The time shall be 2 15-minute halves, with 5 minutes rest in between. And my personal favorite, the side making the most goals in that time shall be declared the winner. In case of a draw, the game may, by agreement of the captains, be continued until another goal is made. So basketball used to be sudden death? That'd go over well. A bunch of rules have been added since the original 13, including technical fouls, flagrant fouls, and of course the new one, the flopping foul. The madness begins soon, y'all. Get ready. That's the show for this week. Make sure to leave me a comment below the video on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, and let me know what you think. But I'm out of time, so until next week, I'm Seth Hagen, and this has been your Sports Check. Later. Man, knew I should have watched more Sports Check.